Uh, Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So, hello, my name is Aziz. I'll be talking to you today about privacy in the Amazon Alexa skill ecosystem, which is pretty much a mouthful. But uh, s- first of all, I'm sure you're all aware of Alexa and Google Home. These are new devices that we call smart speakers, and they pretty much in almost every household today. It's estimated that at the end of the year, there'll be 35.5 million devices in homes by the end of this year. Uh, so I'm sure I don't need to tell you guys that a device that's in your living room that's constantly listening brings up new privacy implications. So not only are these devices just always listening, they are also saving all your interactions with them on the cloud by Amazon and by Google, including your voice data. But today we'll mostly focus on the privacy issues for the developer ecosystem, or how developers develop their third parties. So what are the third-party apps in this case? What we call Alexa skills. Uh, Alexa skills are kind of like the apps that you have in your cell phone right now, or that you download, except uh, and well, they've been introduced in like 2 years ago, and there are already more than 15,000 skills in the store. They kind of differ from your normal cell phone apps in that they don't need to be installed on the Alexa device, and they are mostly accessed through the cloud. And in fact, you don't even need to download them from the store or anything. You just need to go to to your device and invoke it using its invocation name, or basically say, "Hey Alexa, enable this skill." When you invoke the skill or enable it, you don't even it doesn't really give you the privacy policy or any terms of service. You don't have to agree to any of them. And if you want to look at them, you'll have to go search for the app or the skill itself on the store and download it manually. So there's an exception to this for skills that need something called account linking. Account linking is when some apps require you to tie your account, your Alexa account, to another service. For instance, like if you want to use Uber, you have to link your Alexa account to to your own Uber account, so that Alexa knows that this user is the one that's making the order, or ordering the Uber. And usually this is done through the Alexa companion app on your cell phone. So the big question is audio availability. Can skills access audio data? The answer is no. What Amazon does, and this is like a good point for them, they don't send your audio data to the skill developer or this cloud. What they do is when you invoke the skill, it listens for a few seconds, and it identifies like predefined phrases, and it interprets them to things, or to intents, which are like predefined choices, and sends these choices to the skill developer, or to the skill to backend. They are, however, considering changing this. Like 2 days ago, there was an article that said they want to change it so that it actually sends the whole transcript of your interaction, which is actually what Google Home is currently doing. So, of course, I don't need to tell you, if it was collecting voice data, that would be a pretty big deal, because then they would be able to identify like the user's gender or age, or maybe even collect other data. So what we did was we decided to have an analysis of the privacy policies of all the skills in the store. We started by analyzing more than at the time it was 2 months ago, so they had almost like 11,837 skills. we focused mostly on the ratings or the star ratings, whether the skill has account linking, and privacy policies. So the first thing we noticed was that only 75% or 75% of all skills did not have a privacy policy. That is because privacy policies are optional and only required for skills that require account linking. So that would be like only 5.7% are the skills that have account linking. And even among those skills, even among those privacy policies that we found in general, 14% of all privacy policies are like erroneous, as in they give you like a 404 page not found error, or they're unreachable in general, or in a lot of cases they were just not privacy policy pages, and skills would actually link to their main page or their About Us page or whatnot. And even skills which were required by Amazon to include a privacy policy, 3.5 of them, which is a pretty high percentage, were erroneous, as in unreachable or wrong pages. In addition to that, most privacy policies actually did not mention they did not mention Alexa or Echo at all, and they were just general pages for the ones that they would use for their maybe apps or websites, and were not tailored to Alexa at all. An interesting tidbit we found was that you'd think that 5-star apps or apps that were rated 5 stars would have more privacy policies, but it's actually the opposite. 5-star apps had the lowest inclusion of privacy policies, whereas 1-star apps had the most. And judging by them by category, the 2 categories that had the most privacy policies were smart home skills and connected car skills. That's mostly because they all, like a high percentage of them require you to do account linking, whereas other categories like game, novelty, and weather had the lowest privacy policy percentage because they were mostly simple apps that did not collect any data, therefore did not need them. Moving on to other Alexa privacy choices. Most skills identify the user by something called a user ID, which is issued by Amazon to each user, so that every user has a different user ID for each app or each skill. The advantage of this is that it's hard to track the user across skills. So, for instance, in this example, this user has a user ID 1234 for instance, the Domino's Pizza skill, but and the same user has a 4567 for the Uber skill. So, even if I, for instance, made 2 skills, I would not be able to tie the same user to each of these skills. However, the disadvantage is that it was difficult to, or not difficult, but non-intuitive way to reset these IDs. You'd have to go to each skill, disable it, then enable it again to reset the ID. Other permissions the skills can access was the device address, which was the full address, which could be either full address or a simple address, which is just country and postal code. It also you could also request access to lists, and which are Amazon gives each user a shopping list and a to-do list, and gaining access to these would give you read and write access, or I mean you could choose either or. However, the problem with that is they do not require a privacy policy when requesting these this data, and the skill permission was kind of cumbersome, and it's difficult to manage. And you can't control like which lists you have access to. It's an all or nothing. You either give it all access or no access at all. Finally, the conclusion is Alexa skill developers were sloppy about their privacy policy, and Amazon themselves were sloppy in their enforcement. They did make a few good choices, such as the user ID and the audio availability, but they're starting, who's to say what they do in the future? They're already considering changing some of them. More permission types are coming soon, and the way the current setup is, it will be difficult to actually manage them all, and you'll have to like manage them on a skill-to-skill basis. And that's what we have today. And thank you very much. Any questions?